There are a few symbols you might encounter on your typing exercises in GDP that you might not know what they mean. So in this video, I'm going to show you what you should do when you encounter these symbols. So the first one that you'll probably encounter that you don't know is in lesson 1B. So you'll see at the top, each of these lines ends with this little arrow symbol right here. So you might not be sure what you're supposed to do there, but all you have to do is press your enter or return button. And it's not actually going to type the arrow just symbolizes that you're supposed to press enter or return. So I'll show you here exactly what you're supposed to do. Right, so when you get to this point in the line, right there is the arrow, and you're just going to press enter, and it takes you down to the new line, but it doesn't actually put the arrow in, and that's okay. Then you'll see on this line, it wants you to press the enter button 2 times, right? It has 2 arrows, so I'll show you how you do that. It's the same thing. Oops. Right, so here it has the arrow twice, so I'm going to press enter once, twice, and that takes me down to the next line. So that's what you do when you see this little arrow symbol. Now, the next symbol you might see that you don't recognize is in 1H, so lesson 1, but now 1H. Another arrow symbol, but this one just points backwards, and that is the backspace symbol. So again, you're not actually going to be putting in the arrow, it just symbolizes that you're going to be pressing backspace, right? So here this says I'm going to be typing AS, and then the arrow, which means backspace, so I'm going to press backspace, or here on my keyboard it's delete, and that goes back, and then I put in the D, right? So basically what this is telling you to do is press backspace to correct the word, right? You typed AS, but you're going to delete the S and put in D. Same thing here, right? You do D-A-D-K, and then there's that arrow for the backspace button. Press backspace, and then put in the S, right? So dad K gets correct to dad's dad S, right? So you're gonna go along and do that. So you'll see on my keyboard it says delete. That's because I have a Mac. If you have a Windows computer, yours is gonna say backspace, right? So if it's Mac, it's delete, but on a Windows computer, it's going to be backspace right up here. Okay, now there's one more symbol that you might not recognize, and that is in lesson 7, the tab key. So another arrow, this one pointing in the other direction to the right, which just means you're going to press your tab button, which is over here on the left-hand side next to your Q. Right, so we're going to do A-A-H, and then press tab, and that brings the cursor over. So what the tab does is it just moves the cursor over to the next ½ inch. It moves the cursor over a ½ inch each time you press it like that, right? So I'm going to go back here, right? So I did A-A-A-H, press tab. Now I'm going to type the next thing, A-B-S, press tab again, A-C-E, tab right here, right there, tab, and I just go on like that.